what's going to come out of you is, you know what I mean?
Ventilation would be very important. Open a window, man.
I can't decide whether to call a gastroenterologist or an exorcist.
The Richter scale's been going crazy.
And it smells like a swamp.
Are they bombing at the Air Force Range?
Is it low tide?
That damn sewer treatment plant again. Those guys, they got to get a handle on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Rock and Roll the Podcast, featuring Dr. Nick Redbone, Tom Nelson, and me,
Brock Johnson.
Today's show brought to you by
Power Plant Car Audio and Accessories. Check them out on the interwebs at powerplantweb.com. Blaine. I went all gold member there at the end.
Like I threw in a little bit of music underneath the power plant. You see how I changed that up?
Yeah, it was a fade.
Yeah.
It was a nice fade.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was...
I believe the kids call that beatboxing.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're good. You're not a good beatboxer, but I like it.
I'm not a good beatboxer.
Way to bring it, Holmes.
Hey, thanks. just trying to. Hey, kids. Trying to identify with you.
Where's the guitar?
Huh?
You wrote that fantastic jingle.
It turns out we had a copyright issue there. I'm not quite sure. Some band called Green Gaze.
Green Bay.
The Green Bay.
Green Sleeve.
Band called
The Green Bays.
Yeah.
Did you say Green Sleeve?
I did.
That's my favorite old person Christmas song.
And off we go.
No, the power plant. It's not the power plant.
It's Power Plant
on Kimberly Road in Twin Falls. They've got car and truck and audio accessories. See how I said accessories? You see how I did it right?
You did.
You know,
Yeah.
I meant to
You
look
get a
that
star.
up. I meant to look that up because you can find pronunciations of words now on they call it the internet.
What?
And I meant to do that.
Really?
To see if it's accessories, which is how it's spelled,
Yeah,
or if
yeah.
it's accessories, which could also be correct.
Which is the way I've always pronounced it.
Me too.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
You're right. And you know me. I'm from Harlem.
You are.
Everybody knows that. Look.
You are the most Harlem of the Harlem.
Oh, man. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Actually,
Are you a globetrotter?
not anymore. So today we are talking about Southern rock. Now, we should, and I thought about this as I was making my second trip to work today. Isn't all rock and roll, the beginnings of rock and roll, are absolutely Southern. I mean, it all comes from rock and roll as a mix of country music, of the blues. Yeah, and you know they're sort of that hybrid in between, but that's where it came from. And of course, the blues straight up come from the Delta, and country music kind of comes from Appalachia. So it's always been Southern, but as it moved on and it got all of its own regional flavors. The English got it, and they did what they did to it. But then. Yeah, the English. You can't trust
the damn
them.
English.
The damn Brits. What did England ever do for rock and roll? But Southern rock as we know it. Are we already off the rails?
Yeah.
All right. Tell you what, somebody else lead the intro. I'm going to take a drink of my coffee.
Is that what you meant? Is that what you meant, Doctor?
And the show is already, it feels 12 in here already.
I like the genres that have kind of grown out of Southern rock.
Okay.
Like, and it's almost like the hip hop guys.
Okay.
There's like Demon Jones. And,
Okay.
Colt Ford and
Right.
these guys who are right in between country and rock, and then a little hip hoppy in there as well.
Yeah, and that's been a recent addition.
Just the last 5-10 years.
Yeah,
or so,
yeah. Southern rock, from what I can trace, and I actually do homework on these.
Figured as much.
Yeah. Do you do homework on these?
You're very academic. No, I did a little bit last night, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first mention of Southern rock, or the first Southern rock releases, seem to have been the Allman Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Allman Brothers Band, I think there were at one point like 39 people in the Allman Brothers Band. I mean, 8 of them were guitar players. Allman Brothers Band, Dwayne Allman and Greg Allman, although wasn't Dwayne Allman only around for one album? Maybe 2?
Yeah, 1 or 2, and it was the early 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, he died in a motorcycle accident, and at that point, Dickie Betts, who was the other guitar player, kind of jumped up and became the lead songwriter. He and Greg were working together, and he was the one who had more of a country vibe to him. Before Dickie took over, the band was more psychedelic, more of a jam band kind of vibe. Exactly. And when Dickie Betts came in, he wrote a song called Blue Sky. Now, if you've ever heard Blue Sky by the Allman Brothers, that's a country tune all day long. And it was from there that they sort of started to fuse those two things together. Very much a country thing, very much a swampy southern thing, but with the guitar, bass, drums, harder edged, kind of rock and blues type vibe. And that alloy is kind of what southern rock is. Allman Brothers Band being the first of them, but I don't know if they're probably not the biggest name. I mean, the biggest name southern rock band.
Probably Skynyrd.
It's got to be Skynyrd, right?
But I don't know if that makes them necessarily the best.
No, but once best is subjective. Exactly. Everybody.
I think you're absolutely right about the Allman Brothers kind of being the origin of it.
Yeah.
In that way.
You turned yourself off.
That's funny. Usually I'm trying to turn myself on.
Hey, it wasn't that long ago.
How long? So for just a moment, then what you're saying is, while Tom and I were having a discussion, Tom had turned his microphone off.
Yes.
I didn't even touch that part of the microphone.
Or it's just been off the whole time.
It's been off the whole time.
When I was testing levels earlier, didn't pay attention. But
did you? Well, these must have been picking me up then, because
you
could
there was
see
a little
something going on there.
But I think we're for the most part in good shape. I think at some point it got bumped up.
PowerPlantWeb.com.
Yeah, that was great, huh? Hey, for our friends watching on YouTube.
You know what we need to do? Can we get one of those get one of the sign language translators to come in and stand next to you just in case you turn off your microphone? That would be fantastic.
I've got a horrible Helen Keller joke, and I'm not going to do it.
Nope. Because
I'm not going to do it.
I said the sponsor.
Go ahead.
No. Because if he says that, then remember when we had to take you completely away from mentioning the sponsor?
Yeah.
For 60 seconds after you said something terrible? We'd have to do the same to Tom. And Tom's actually the only class act in this room.
Only his mic isn't on. Or wasn't. And that's not
now.
true. You guys are grade A, man. Grade A class.
And you know what? You're the bee's knees.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah. And you're a shiny new quarter, Brock.
It's getting pretty deep in here.
So Skynyrd, huh?
Yeah, how about those guys, huh?
Huh? Leonard Skinner, of all of the southern rock bands, and a stunning admission right now, and I'm a rock and roll guy, as you know from way back, I am not a fan of Skynyrd. I've heard some of their stuff that is okay. I think part of it comes from playing in the bars and playing Sweet Home Alabama so many times that I just can't even fathom having to do it again. And I'm sure, like other bands, Skinner's B-sides would be more interesting to me than sawing out the hits.
Tell me more about this Mr. Leonard Skynyrd.
Do you know the story of Leonard Skynyrd?
No, I don't.
I've
always wondered where their name came from.
Okay, the band Leonard Skynyrd named themselves after a PE teacher that they had in school named Leonard Skinner.
That's fantastic.
And they changed the spelling and put the D on the end of Skynyrd, and that was it. Leonard Skynyrd, and the rest is history. You just dropped your soda.
Yeah,
I heard the thump. I felt the thump. I thought it was Tom's phone for a minute. I assumed it was Tom's phone.
Yeah. I thought you were making some sort of metaphor. You dropped your soda. I'm like, what?
What does that mean? Excuse me. I got to look that up in the Urban Dictionary. Dropped your soda.
No, it slid right through the hole. Right through the hole.
Oh, that doesn't even sound right.
And this podcast already on fire and brought to you by Power Plant on Kimberly Road in Twin Falls.
Try and spell Leonard Skynyrd.
Huh?
It's like
LYNYRD SKYNRD.
Leonard
that
Skinner.
Sounds right.
It is right.
Yeah.
Way to go. You went spelling bee on us for a minute.
Well, I'm a wedding DJ.
Okay, so from time to time you have to spell?
When I'm looking for Leonard Skinner, yes. Because what wedding dance is complete without Sweet Home Alabama?
God.
Actually, I have remix versions of it if you need some.
Now, I can tell you, please don't, ever.
Yeah, sure.
I can tell you that I had, at one point, I think in a class, nope, not yet. Working on classic rock. As a matter of fact, Tommy and I were on the same station at Classic Rock years ago. We had somewhere in the archives a live cut of of Freebird.
Yes.
And that was, not only was that a bathroom song, you could go do your taxes. You could make love. You could
easily,
prepare a
I
meal.
think that was 15 minutes, easy.
Maybe longer.
It was, there's several versions. There's one upstairs in the Balanced Rock studio. Check it out, balancedrockradio.com. And it's 10 minutes and 36 seconds long.
I want to say that we played one back at the other place that was like 15 minutes. It was all like all jam band songs. It was all guitar solo.
Oh, yeah.
Just over and over and over. And that kind of leads me to one of the, maybe we should kind of look at the hallmarks of what a Southern rock song and what the Southern rock vibe is. It's not country.
No, I think it's more feeling than it is anything.
Okay. But I would say that there are certain sounds that are definitely,
it's a regional thing, I think.
for sure.
I mean, the sound comes from a region. Like there's Chicago blues,
Right.
But I think Southern rock kind of, for some reason, it just kind of, and it's sure some of them has to be visual.
Yep.
The album covers, the way these guys look, but the sound, to me, just kind of, I think there's
a twang.
Yeah, I don't know exactly if it's the instrumentation where this comes from, but I think there's a regional kind of a
I would
that
agree.
makes it Southern.
I think it's good. It's good country, minus the steel guitar. Add an electric guitar,
minus the fiddle, minus the banjo. Add another guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a great way to look at it. Really.
Yeah, I was gonna say, talk about you're adding stuff. Was it? Skynyrd had 3 lead guitarists?
3 lead guitar players.
Allman Brothers at one point had 4.
Yep, and they would have a guy on stage playing organ as well, because Greg, when he was still alive, he would sing
Dwayne.
and play Hammond B3 organ too. Yeah. So no, not Dwayne. Dwayne was a guitar player. Greg was the singer.
Greg Allman.
Yeah, but Greg's alive. Dwayne is not.
No, Greg's also dead. It's news to Tom. Breaking news: Greg
not.
Allman has been dead for years.
Hey, Alexa, is Greg Allman alive?
No, dumbass. Greg Allman is dead.
So I swear to God,
Is he really?
Greg Allman's dead.
No,
I announced
he's
his
not.
death.
He's very dead.
I didn't even know he was sick. When did he die?
I announced his death while doing a remote at a Mexican realtor's open house.
Wow.
And by the way,
Oh, the respect.
and by the way, Greg Allman is also dead, but you've got to see this house. Swear to God. Wow. Only in radio does that shit happen.
Was that here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been within the last 5 years.
I must have missed that.
Yes,
I don't know how that happened. Sometimes I forget stuff, guys.
Sometimes my coffee gets the best of me, mostly because my barista is Irish. So, getting back to the sound of Southern rock, I think you will get that Hammond B3 organ vibe. You'll get like some boogie piano with it too. I mean, a lot of those bands will have a keyboard player. The guitars are always first and foremost. You might get some good country harmony in there too, but for sure, it's very much a guitar, bass, drums, and you don't hear the guitar players aren't shredding like an Eddie Van Halen it's very blues based. That's where most of that blue sound comes from in Southern rock. And we touched on it too. They will expand. Those Southern rock bands get categorized as jam bands. I've seen them at jam festivals. When I went and saw Robert Plant at Telluride a few years back, most of the bands opening were either like funk and soul bands or Southern rock bands, and they would all jam forever and ever, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
Love that Rocky Mountain High. Like and subscribe.
And remember, Greg Allman is dead.
He sure is. Tommy,
He's been dead for a while.
Has anybody told Cher?
And our top story, Greg Allman is still dead.
Film at 11.
No,
there is no film.
Why do you want to see that, you sick, twisted bastard? So I went on YouTube trying to find Greg Allman dying. Took me down a weird rabbit hole. You'd be amazed how many celebrities filmed their own deaths. George Burns went really peacefully.
Look at how dead Greg Allman looks.
He's so dead. Okay, I don't even know where to go now. I, honest to God, at this point, we just break them so fast and so early. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. First of all, if we can, what is a Southern rock band that you dig that maybe we don't know, or a band that you would consider Southern rock that maybe we haven't considered as a Southern rock band?
Well, let me answer that twofold.
That's the thing. As small as we call it a niche or a genre.
Yeah.
But it's big, man. We're playing Dirty
huge.
Honey on the active rock station, and that's straight up based out of Southern rock.
Blacktop Mojo as well.
And so is Rival Sons.
Yep.
That's Southern rock all day long.
Yeah, and you look at CCR. I mean, They say swamp rock, but is that a subgenre of Southern rock, or how many?
I would definitely say that's the CCR is Southern rock.
I would too, but I agree with you. People don't call them that.
They classify it as swamp rock.
But what does
that mean?
Yeah, exactly. What are they missing if they're not Southern rock?
You guys, I'm sure you probably know of them, but I like the Outlaws.
The Outlaws, Green Grass and High Tides.
Just played it the other day.
What a fantastic
another
song.
Great bathroom song. Flushed my transmission and made some Toll House cookies. Before I got back to finish the...
Remember.
Is that what you call making a poop? Flushing my transmission?
Remember, Toll House cookies make the studio smell like home. Okay, now, what about you, Brock? Now, you're so... Of the three of us, you're the one that has probably the best pop sensibilities, and you are more rooted in that punk, that pop, the more active stuff. But is there any Southern rock that you find yourself completely digging on?
I already mentioned their name, Blacktop Mojo.
Blacktop Mojo. Yeah, we've actually had them in this room, as a matter of fact. And on top of it, they're super duper cool guys.
Well,
too.
I think there's an attitude that goes along with Southern rock. And those guys are spit and image of what Southern rock is supposed to be.
Totally.
I mean, on their tour, when touring was still allowed, I cannot count the number of videos that I saw where after the show, they were hanging out at a campfire in some fan's backyard playing songs with an acoustic guitar.
That's it.
I mean, that's Southern rock.
It really is. It's that down home. Once again, it does kind of have a bit of a DIY vibe to it too, because a lot of that, as we've covered, that country tradition coming from Appalachia before it was the country we know, it was bluegrass, and that came from families and extended families and 2 and 3 families all around the fire at night, and everybody can play something and everyone can sing something. So that runs through all of country, and it sort of would make sense that it goes through Southern rock as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this, Tommy, because you're our pop punk guy, you're our classic rock guy for sure. The Eagles, are they Southern rock?
I think that at one point they were classified because that's the way they started out, with Linda Ronstadt. They were performing country music when she pretty much discovered them and put them on the map.
Yep.
And then they kind of moved away from that a little bit because they wanted to be more successful and poppy. So I would say at the beginning, yes. Yeah.
Because I would say...
As they went along, I don't know. Maybe not so much.
I would agree. I think later Eagles probably moved away from it, but you can listen to some of that early stuff. Seven Bridges Road, that's Southern rock. That's country even.
Yeah.
New Kid in Town, that's probably Southern rock country. So I think that their roots were
even
there.
like Take It Easy.
Take It Easy, absolutely.
You throw a steel guitar into that song, it is 100% country.
Well, and it was covered. Travis Tritt covered it and made it a country tune.
He did.
Yeah. So there we go. The Eagles definitely had it. I think for me to pick, because I'm into... When I left the band that I was in for so long, I ran completely away from that, that style, and I needed something to inspire me and something that I wanted to do again. And the band I'm in now is Southern rock. I ran back to the blues, back to Southern rock, back to the Grateful Dead.
Really? You abandoned prog rock?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I'm not playing that at all anymore.
But are you still enjoying it?
Sometimes. I just did so much of it and listened to so much of it. I immersed myself in it.
It became work.
You burn out on it. Yeah.
I helped produce 3 albums full of it.
Sure, I
It
got you.
It was so much, and I needed to be re-inspired and do something different. And Southern rock and that country, that hard edge country stuff called to me so much that's what I'm playing now. I mean, I bought a Telecaster, I put my 7-string away, and I'm some of the current bands that are doing Southern rock. If you haven't heard Band of Heathens, you got to check out Band of Heathens for sure. Drive-By Truckers, you should check out Drive-By Truckers.
Those guys are fantastic.
So fantastic. You know, and they don't get the big coverage, obviously, that the big 70s rock acts did, but no rock acts do now. Right. But turning out some just fantastic stuff. Cannot recommend that LA County Blues by Band of Heathens is one of my favorite Southern rock country tunes going right now. Just unreal. I like playing it, I like singing it, I like listening to it.
I wonder if that's kind of foretelling maybe a resurgence of the sound of Southern rock in contemporary music.
It hasn't gone away. Dave Grohl, I just saw him interviewed, and this was just within. I mean, it was a February interview. He was on with Stern, and he talked about how he thinks that people are starting to look at rock and roll again and say, "Hey, man, rock's cool," and there are younger artists doing it, and I don't think. I've said this on this podcast many times. Every day, a new 14-year-old buys his first electric guitar.
Yeah,
and that's where rock and roll is going to come from. But the fact that we are playing the Blacktop Mojos and they're not charting. They're not, and if they are, they're barely there and then they're gone again. But the Blacktop Mojos and the Dirty Honeys and the Rival Sons, those bands are keeping that sound, that stripped down, bare bones, blues-based rock and roll very much alive.
Now, as far as Dirty Honey and Rival Sons are concerned, those guys have gone #1.
Oh, I didn't know Dirty Honey went that high. I knew Rival Sons had
Dirty Honey has been a reckoning force for a couple of years now on the active rock chart.
And I jock active rock, but I don't pay. Of course, it's not my job to pay attention to the charts like you do. But I love it. I mean,
Rollin' Sevens was a #1 song.
A fantastic tune. Yep. And once again, you can almost hear the buzz of the cable being plugged into the guitar. It's that organic sounding.
Well, and an up and coming right now is Cleopatra.
Yep.
Very much Southern rocky.
And I hope that we continue to see that stuff. Do you think
Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones is very Southern for sure.
And they've all gone #1. I mean, it's almost like there is this resurgence of specifically Southern rock.
What a wonderful thing!
Going to the top.
Yeah.
Of
what about isn't there and I don't really know. I just read this because I don't listen to much new stuff. Jason Isbell.
Jason Isbell.
Yeah.
Okay,
now,
Jason.
But he's. I don't know that would you consider him Southern rock?
Jason Isbell's country, blues, classic rock, kind of everything.
Kind of borderline, maybe.
Yeah. His wife is also a country singer, and she's kind of does that alt country thing too. And if I'm right, and I think I am, Jason Isbell is Drive-By Truckers, or one of Drive-By Truckers.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I don't know for sure.
And if I'm wrong, and I may very well be, feel free to in the comments while you're liking and subscribing. Make sure to point out that I'm 100% wrong. I'm so tempted to look it up right now so I can correct myself in podcast.
I think by calling him alt country is better than calling him Southern rock.
I think you're probably right, but
okay.
I really want to be right and I want you to be wrong. So would you guys fill while I look this up? Because it's going to make me crazy if I don't.
This land is your land.
Keep with it. Keep going.
What? This land is my land.
Where did that come from? That is
Well, you asked me to
awesome.
fill.
No, but that's wow. That is. I feel like. Go ahead. Keep singing.
I think that's as much as I remember of the song.
Is that really all you're going to do?
From the New York Islands
Okay.
to the Hotel California.
Damn it. He is a past member. He is a past member of Drive-By
Truckers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's also, looking at the past members of Drive-By Truckers, I think I was also a past member of Drive-By Truckers.
Well, I think that band is a lot like, it's not Eagles of Death Metal, but it's one of their projects.
Yeah, it's like a collective of guys that kind of rotate.
It constantly kind of revolves and rotates, and new people come in, and people go out all
Like
the
the
time.
new Eagles.
They're no, that's
my
terrible.
bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Oh.
Bravo.
No,
Well,
there's a lot of those guys on the road right now that are doing the same thing. Like, and I know this because I do concert commercials in my spare time, and I will find videos from, and I'm not gonna talk specific artists, but
Okay.
it was a video from like 6 months ago, and then artist approval comes back. like, no, we can't use that because he's not in the band anymore. You got to use this.
Yeah.
And inevitably, like the next time I have to do a commercial for that band, they're like, no.
There was a Simpsons joke once where I can't believe they're at Moe's, they're at a bar or there's somewhere where live music's playing, and this guy there's a band up on stage, and this guy walks in and goes, "Hey, do you like Steely Dan? We got one of their saxophone players."
I was gonna say, let's go see Jefferson Starship. One of the original percussionists is there.
I think it's the same keyboard player they had. If you
played marimba.
If you've been in Fleetwood Mac longer than 2 albums, you're the founding member of the band. It's kind of like Yes. There for a minute, Yes, there were 2 different versions of Yes on the road. All of the originals from Yes had quit except for Chris Squire, and he was feuding with the rest of the guys from the band. So the other guys went off. Over here was Yes, and then over here was Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe, and they called their band Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe.
Sounds like a law firm.
Exactly. I think they handled my divorce. I think they were really good. The
If
time
you've been
signatures
around
were crazy.
asbestos,
Contact
Those guys.
if you want us to get you out of your timeshare, contact Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe. Oh my God, we have just destroyed.
Have you been
this
affected by
podcast.
mesothelioma?
Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe. Call today. Oh my God.
stuff.
Are you ever halfway through one of these podcasts when you think, if this was a piece of paper, I would have wadded it up and thrown it away?
Probably.
So many times. Okay, so I think what we've covered, though, is we have covered the roots of Southern rock. We've covered what we dig about Southern rock, what Southern rock is. We've covered the Southern rock that we dig now, the current stuff. We did our job.
You're trying to abort the podcast.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to fit, like, yeah, we shit all over it, like angry pigeons. We shit all over it. You know what I mean?
Have you seen a pack of angry pigeons?
Let me tell you a
Because I have
story,
not.
pal. But I still think we covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of getting your car shit on, isn't it cool when the birds are on the tower out here? Boy,
Not cool.
oh no, it's like a poop tsunami.
It's Poopalooza out there.
I have a car wash subscription now.
I don't blame
because
you.
of the birds.
Oh, God.
I don't blame you. You know what?
Yeah.
I use your number. I use your card all the time.
You should.
Thank you very much. Remember, if there's anything that the guys from Rock and Roll the Podcast are into, it's defrauding car washes. Defraud a car wash today.
Just say theft.
And we know which lawyers to contact,
Can
too.
we should do that in harmony. Just say theft.
Okay,
Ooh, that was awesome.
You stay there. I'll go up.
Okay. Just say theft.
I'll just watch.
The first one was better. You should. The first one was better.
Let's not do that anymore.
Add some rhythm to that.
Power plant. Power plant.
Power plant. Power plant.
All right.
You know who doesn't go to power plant?
Communists.
Greg Allman.
Because he is real dead.
He's not with us anymore.
So dead. But I hear there are films of him to this day on the internet.
In case,
Look how dead Greg Allman is.
in case you're just tuning in, our top story: Greg Allman dead.
Can we be done?
Yeah. Oh God. At this
Okay,
point, yeah.
Sweating.
Not only are we beating a dead horse, we have now written obituary for the dead horse. We've mailed pieces of the dead horse to its family. This is terrible. It's awful. Yeah, we should wrap it up. First of all, real quick, let's thank everybody for hanging with us for 25 episodes.
25.
This is the 25th episode, and we're looking forward
And
to
we're
many more.
gone.
And that's it. It's a limited time series. We're all done. Thanks, Blaine, for jumping on board late. No, I'm looking forward to doing a lot more of these. It is the highlight of my week. I love doing the podcast, and we would love for you to be involved. So by all means, drop any of us a note, leave comments on the YouTube videos, like and subscribe, share with a friend, share with an enemy, share with somebody, for God's sakes, because we're working our asses off on this. And here's to 25 more.
There you go.
Cheers.
Ding, 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 clink. Until the next time, my name is Dr. Nick. That's Brock. That's Tom. Peace, love, and rock and roll. We're out of here.